This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on the initiatives of FSSAI to enhance food safety and empower consumers. The participants are Bejon Kumar Misra, former member, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, and Ramya, anchor. Recently, Union Health Minister Shri J.P. Nadda reviewed various initiatives taken by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, that is FSSAI, and appreciated the remarkable leap taken in the area of food safety. The Health Minister emphasized the critical role of food safety in the well-being of citizens and underscored the critical need of empowering consumers with evidence-based information on food safety issues. Joining us today in Akashvani studios to enlighten and educate listeners on food safety and consumer awareness, we have with us Professor Bejon Misra, former member of FSSAI. Thank you for joining Akashvani, Professor.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, in recent times, there has been an increase in awareness regarding health and fitness in India. Even the ICMR recently issued health guidelines regarding permitted sugar and salt intake per day. Do you think that national and international brands adhere to the prescribed and permitted levels of ingredients in India?
Well, firstly, let me tell you, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Minister, Mr. J.P. Nadda, to visit the authority and meet up with officials and understand what's going on there, because it's very important for the Honorable Minister to know some of the achievements which have happened after the setting up of the Food Safety Authority from 2008. And I was very fortunate to be a member of the founding authority as a representative from the consumer organizations in the authority. So I had the privilege to be in the authority till 2013. So what I would like to say in terms of your second question is, which is also very important, India has to harmonize with the world in terms of their standard. And in terms of salt, sugar and fat, there are now global standards which are emerging, which are much better than what it was yesterday because of the high rise in non-communicable disease caused due to high intake of salt, sugar and fat. And there are a number of avoidable diseases which can be given a credit if we calibrate or reduce the intake of salt, sugar and fat in our food which is being processed and sold in our market, which is not happening today. But certain brands have started adhering to the best standards and started reducing the proportion of salt or sugar or fat in their products, which is a good sign. But we have been struggling, for many, many years to make it a law and bring a law where a common consumer can recognize the healthy food vis-a-vis the unhealthy food. India is the only country, let me tell you, India is the only country which has a vegetarian and non-vegetarian labeling, on the label.
Yes, on the packaging.
Green dot and red dot. All the consumers today in the country know and they're aware. So people who are vegetarian, they don't take those products which have a red dot. Even in the restaurants, they have started using the red dot and the green dot, which is a very good sign, which is a very good thing. Similarly, we wanted a kind of a traffic signal labeling on the label all food products, where green, if it is there, that means it's a healthy food. You can have it because there will be less salt, less sugar and less fat. It will be under proportion and it will have those ingredients which are good for health. Yellow sign will show that, okay, it is average. You can have, it is not the best. And red means you have to be far away from there. There is a warning, there is an alert. But if you still want to have it, that is your choice. Because consumers have the right to choose what to buy, what not to buy. And in a country like India, we should make it free, but with lot of awareness. Like what we have done for tobacco. For example, tobacco is a legal product, sold legally. But there are restrictions, where to sell, where not to sell, to whom to sell, what age to sell. All that law is there to govern.
Also, the packaging which has tobacco causes cancer, the mandatory packaging warning.
Correct. So that is as per law, which is there. Now, similarly, we are trying to say that even under the food safety law, Food Safety and Standards Act 2006, we should bring in such laws where the consumers are encouraged to promote healthy food and not encourage unhealthy food to be consumed, which are high in salt, sugar and fat. This is what we are trying to say. I hope the government has already brought in a notification. I am quite sure very soon it will get converted into a law, but I hope it gets onto a fast track and the parliament with all their wisdom passes this law as soon as possible.
Professor, there are many brands which make bizarre and impossible claims of their products being a catalyst in increasing the height of kids, making them very intelligent, and then they promote bone health in women post the age of 40 and
all sorts of very tall claims. And when you check the ingredient list, the main ingredient is sugar. Why do you think brands advertise so irresponsibly? How can we regulate this? And how do we encourage natural and homemade health drinks like millets more popular among people?
The point is, consumers would always prefer to eat that food which they like the most in terms of their taste. So it all depends, how you build that taste. I don't know whether you know or not, but if you drink beer for the first time, it is one of the worst tasting drink you can ever have. But you see so many people enjoying beer, which is having such a bad, taste. Point is, but they get used to it, they get addicted.
Because it's an acquired taste you're trying to say.
So food also, sometimes such ingredients are used which are addictive in nature. For example, salt, high degree of salt is addictive in nature, where we want to ensure that, the industry doesn't only look at profit. Industry should look at also the health of the consumer. Unfortunately, they do huge publicity and promotion by bringing big known celebrities and endorsers, by paying fat amount to them to endorse those products, which we are now trying to ensure that such things do not happen in India like in other countries where the regulation is very strict and very, alert, and the regulation is very effective and efficient. We want that kind of a regulator to be in India also. So we want Food Safety Authority to regularly reprimand these kind of deceptive, misleading, making tall claims, advertisements, and ensure that such industries are penalized in such a manner that they never dare to do this again and again. So this is where, I strongly feel the authority should look at it in a very close manner, in a very micro manner, where, they don't allow such misleading and deceptive advertisements getting away under the radar and not getting caught by the regulator.
Also, Professor, a lot of us as consumers only read the label of a product to check the price and the expiry date, and a little more maybe the weight of the product. We don't know what certain ingredients mean and how harmful they can be. So how can FSSAI help in educating the layman or woman to know the products and ingredients better? And can you also emphasize to our listeners of how important it is to know how to read the label behind a product?
See, the most important aspect is every product has to have the manufacturer's helpline number, their address. You see, so any product, if you find is not tasting right, it needs to showing that it is stale, it is not healthy, or you have had an adverse reaction to that product, you should immediately report to the Food Safety Authority's helpline number. Food Safety Authority has an helpline number. You should immediately call the helpline number and report such matters, including the manufacturer whose helpline number is on the label. Many people have come back to me complaining that wo phone to koi uthata hi nahi hai. Nobody picks up that phone, which is very, very wrong. So we have to report. And government also, the authority also needs to, in random check what phone numbers are working, what is not working. Ensure that it is 24/7 working. It is not that when you want the phone to work, only then it is working. No, it has to work 24/7 for the consumer. I strongly feel that if a helpline is not 24/7, then please do not call it a helpline. It is not a helpline. It is just a telephone number like any other number. So what I always believe is government should develop a lot of campaign like we have done for the Jago campaign in the country from 2005 onward. Huge amount of your money and my money are parked under the Consumer Welfare Fund. Use that money efficiently. Ask for that money. Let Food Safety Authority take that money and use it in a proper, efficient manner, in a professional manner during prime time to educate consumers. Not once in a while, so that the consumers don't forget that helpline number. Consumers should not forget what to eat and what not to eat. How to read the labels. Why to read the labels. You see, there is a very nice protocol already in place. All processes and systems are in place as per law, which is mandatory. But still we find that even after having such a good law in our country, the implementation becomes a big challenge. And it is not as per the expectation of the citizens in the manner we desire. And that can only happen if the consumers also get engaged with the state government. So we have a long journey still to do. I'm sure we are in the right direction.
Professor, a lot of content creators on social media have recently been very instrumental in spreading awareness about a lot of brands using certain ingredients in Indian products like baby foods or the chips that we consume or the biscuits that we eat. They have a lot of palm oil, something which is used in India, but something which is not used in their international variant. And a lot of them have challenged the brands to stop using palm oil because it very much contributes to cardiovascular diseases. So, this has really created a big wave. So, how important do you think is social media in spreading awareness like a wildfire in a right way?
Yeah, I agree with you. Today, thanks to social media, that lot of awareness is coming. I must confess to you that we are forgetting our traditional food, our traditional processes in cooking that food, the ingredients, especially the cooking oil used in our country today are all mostly imported. As you mentioned about palm oil, these are all imported palm oil exporting countries. There are a number of them who are actually living out of India because we are importing them. We should cut down those imports. We should encourage more farmers to grow, oil seeds which are very traditional in nature, like mustard, tel. All these are very traditional kind of an oil which we coconut. All this we should try to encourage more and more. And how the farmers can be encouraged by giving them a better price in cultivating these kind of products and harvesting them and bringing them in a manner that not only the Indian consumers are healthy, they start exporting those oils in other countries where they want such oils to be used. And there are a number of Indians now today living abroad who are looking for such oil to be sold to them at a competitive price. But we are not able to compete many a times. Other countries are outbeating us in terms of the cost. So naturally, cost is a very important factor for the consumer. But health and safety of the consumer is paramount. I always mention this, that cost is important, but the most important thing is your health and safety.
Absolutely.
And that is what the role of the government should be.
Yes. Also, Professor, there is a certain wave of greenwashing going on in products that we consume. There's something called original variant and there's something called the natural variant, which has nothing but the same ingredients but in a green packaging. Why do you think brands just cash in on a certain wave of natural products and then they try to sell the same thing and the consumers also buy into it and they waste their money? It's ultimately the brand which makes the money and consumer who loses his or her health.
The point is, when a consumer is given money, he has the freedom to choose where to spend and how to spend. But the responsibility of the government and the citizens and the regulator is to make them aware that how you should spend your money in a responsible manner, that you don't promote such products or such services which can be detrimental to your life or your lifestyle or your quality of life. So it is very important, while the consumer believes in choice and they get carried away by some deceptive manner or advertisements endorsed by celebrities where they start feeling so and so celebrity is consuming this food, then this food has to be good, and why shouldn't I also purchase and show off to the friend that look, I also eat this food which so and so is eating. You should be able to learn that your health is the wealth of the country. If you are healthy, the country is healthy. And it cannot be that we always keep blaming the government. I feel that we all should take the onus. It's a joint responsibility. We should all work together for the health of everybody. And if you find some advertisement which is misleading, you go and talk about it to the people. That be aware. Don't take these kind of products. They are not healthy. They are misleading you, and seek their intervention as per our constitution, to ensure that we get our rights, where we are informed consumers and we are sold those products which are safe for us, healthy for us, and good for us.
Yes. Thank you so much, Professor, for giving us your time. Your inputs have been extremely valuable, and we hope that Indians as citizens become more responsible as consumers and have the bravery to call out the wrong whenever they see something wrong at the back of any packaging.
Thank you.
You were listening to a discussion on the initiatives of FSSAI to enhance food safety and empower consumers. The participants were Bejon Kumar Misra, former member, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, and Ramya, anchor. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app, News on AIR. This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsttalks @gmail.com or WhatsApp on 9289094044.